ceder la palabra a la Association for the Human Rights of the Azerbaijani people in Iran. Por favor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Drying up of Urumia Lake, a natural catastrophe as a case study. Deliberate negligence of Iranian authorities in planning and taking into account the obvious and scientifically proved ongoing or future natural disaster and catastrophe, such as drying up of Urumia Lake in the Azerbaijani region of Iran. Regardless of the repeated early warning by academic, individual and source, international organizations such as the United Nations Specific Agency, vigilant civil society, including many Azerbaijani civil rights and environmental activists, and not the least local authorities has been a key concern affecting lives of millions of people. Peaceful assembly and demonstration by Azerbaijani, including civil rights and environmental activists under the humanitarian umbrella slogans such as Save Lake Urumia, has unfortunately resulted in brutal repression, arrested and detention of many activists. We believe, based on the scientific studies available and per local knowledge and information, that Urumia Lake catastrophe is not a direct product of climate change, and or decline the average annual rainfall, not only because the nearby one lake in the neighboring Turkey has remained intact and lives, which enjoy the same climate. We claim that many deliberate exploited dam building projects implemented mainly by the construction companies attribute in or affiliated to the Iranian Revolutionary Guardian Corps. What has come to the mind of Azerbaijani civil rights and human rights activists as the dominant theory is that Iranian regime is attempting to deliberately destroy natural resources and cultural heritage of Azerbaijani in Iran as an inhuman tool and deterrence strategy to make Azerbaijani more vulnerable to both natural and made.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Karim Abdian, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Ahwazi Arab or Iranian minority group in Iran. Ahwazi Arab minority in Iran suffers from identity crisis among other socio-economic crises. Residing mainly in southwestern Iran, their population is about 5 to 7 million or 10% of the population. The province's name, however, has been changed from Arabistan after 600 years to the Persian name of Khuzestan. This was done to deny the Arab identity. Mr. Chairman, Iran is a very diverse country indeed, where Kurds live in Kurdistan, Baluch live in Baluchistan, Lor in Lorestan, Turkmen in Turkestan, and so on. Only Arab province was changed. I wonder why. An enduring solution would be then to change the name to its original name if there is any consideration. Arab majority Khuzestan province accounts for 90% of the oil revenue, yet the people live in abject poverty. Ahwazi Arabs have not been allowed to participate in running their own affairs. It does not have local or genuine national representation. It faces a systematic forced assimilation, ethnic cleansing, and confiscation of its land. A legislation to allocate 1.5% of the oil revenue to the Arab area has been denied repeatedly by the Iranian Majlis or the parliament. Arabs and all other non-Persian languages such as Kurdish, Turkish, and Baluchis are banned, therefore denying their linguistic rights and their competitiveness in the job markets. Khuzestan political, military, and security commanders, officers, mayors, and all high and mid-level government officials have been consistently appointed from non-Arab groups. Mr. Chairman, you can hear me and you can see me. Obviously, I am real. Yet, me and my people have been denied their existence. In this booklet that was produced
Rahman al-Rahim. Mr. Chairperson, with respect to some references made by certain groups and ethnic communities, I shall emphasize that my country is proud of all its citizens. Meanwhile, they have done their utmost efforts for the progress and development of the country and protecting it. While the Iranian noble ethnic groups were constantly defending their country during imposed war, they always raised this big question, that where those individuals and so-called NGOs who claim that are representing them, including in this forum, have been. Our nation is quite confident that they were and still are cooperating with the aggressor, forming terrorist groups to stay against Iranian people, including ethnic groups, and pursuing separationist activities. It's regrettable that the terrorists who have committed murder, killed innocent people, exploded public places, and carried weapons and explosives be named as Arab, Baluch, Kurd, or Azeri activists. They may not and shouldn't introduce themselves as representatives of different great ethnic groups of Iran, since they have no stance among them. Mr. Chairperson, a very mockery allegation was raised on planting landmines by Iran at this forum. It's an undeniable and evidence-based fact that Saddam regime planted around 16 million landmines in an area of a large area in Iran during the 8 years of imposed war. However, without international cooperation, over 99% of the contaminated areas were cleared by Iran itself. In this context, Saddam has also used chemical weapons against Iran, including in Sardash city, which culminated to the killing of more than 13,000 and wounding of 100,000 innocent people. Mr. Chairperson, against what was raised by a few in this forum, ethnic groups are not minorities in Iran, but they form the majority of the country. Under the constitution, Farsi is the state language and script, yet use of the local and ethnic languages in the media and their teaching in schools is permitted and encouraged. It's worth mentioning, for example, Kurdish and Azeri are taught in universities also.